And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Wednesday, December 27th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down a 6-game NBA slate. And it all ends at 8:30 tonight. And that's just a real slate. There aren't games after that. So we're pretty lucky. We got a good one for today. Easy to balance. Hope you guys played your Andre Drummond yesterday, folks. Incredible. Incredible to watch. S&P, I'm going to go ahead and push back on Andre Drummond is definitely bad. I think Andre Drummond is the best center on the Chicago Bulls. And I think that Andre Drummond is probably one of the 30 best centers in basketball right now. Do I think that, riddle me this. How do you think the Warriors would look if they just swapped Kevon Looney for Andre Drummond? I think it'd be all right. Do I think that he should be, do I think that he could anchor being a center on a real team? No, of course not. Of course not. But he's very clearly underrepresented in the role that he has in Chicago. He played like it too. I mean, that was just ridiculous. Ridiculous. That slate was over for the non-Drummond people in 5 minutes. It was fun. It was fun to see. Yeah, I don't know if they would. I'm not saying that he needs to play a lot, but I think you could get him 2 full rotations in most real playoff series. I think. Just seeing what else is out there. But let's be clear here. It ends up looking a lot different when you get to have a spot start and hang a 24 and 25. We're riding high. I'm not advocating for him on the All-NBA team or anything like that, but it was fun to see. I had to swap a bunch last night, and that final swap ended up landing me on De'Aaron Fox. So I ended up min-cashing the Millie. So I'll take what I can get. Tom finished second. So shout out to other boss man. He was 95% owned in the Millie last night. Drummond, that is. 95%. Insane to think about in a contest that was, what, $2,000 to get in? 1,000 entries? 95%. No-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. Didn't help me at all in the 150 max where I had 100, but just nasty. Nasty. I don't have much else to say here. We're back to just a normal day. 6 games to break down, so I say we do it. Hit that like button if you haven't done it already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Hope you guys took advantage of the holiday promo. That shit is gone. Told you guys. If you needed to do it before, that is gone. I still want you guys to sign up, though. Stokastic.com/join. Come and join us. Come and join us. But Vooch is untradeable. They couldn't get anything for Nikola Vucevic. They would have to attach assets to Vooch. Anywho, coffee is here. I'm ready to take a sip. I hope you guys are as well. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter, and then cheers me, folks. I got a coffee. Whatever you've got, I hope you're joining me with it. Rise and grind, everybody. Cheers. Boom. I min-cashed that Millie last night, and I had 2 separate dudes in my lineup score 8.75 fantasy points. That would be Patrick Williams and Toumani Camara. So great stuff there. Great stuff. Camara, actually, Camara was originally Brandon Miller, and I had to swap Miller out. So I swapped Miller and Simons for Fox and Camara. Do I think that Drummond would be dropping 24 and 25 every night? No, not at all. But he's like a league average center. I don't really like. He's unequivocally better than Nikola Vucevic right now. So if Chicago's trying to be better, they should flip flop how they're playing. They're not going to do that. But he's unequivocally better than Nikola Vucevic. That's not even really up for debate at this point. All righty, here we go, folks. Philadelphia 76ers. 3-point dogs in Orlando. 225 total. This is tied for the lowest total on today's slate. Pulling up injury report now. No Embiid, no Batum. Lofton with the G League team right now. But we are going to have to take at least a little bit of a look at the minutes for this Philadelphia team who were a little weird on Christmas. Mo Bamba became the dude. Paul Reed was in massive foul trouble. I think it's interesting that they closed with him still and got him to 17 minutes. Feels like to me we probably lost. We played 5.5 minutes in his first run. He played 5 minutes at the end of the third quarter. He played 4.5 at the end of the fourth quarter. Now we know Paul Reed had 5 fouls. So at the very least, we lost maybe 30 seconds here, another 3.5 minutes there, call it 4 minutes. Then they started Bamba, softened that blow a little bit. I mean, I don't know, 23 minutes for Paul Reed, 24 minutes for Paul Reed. $24, 23. What's the play here? I'm getting rid of everybody that isn't very important. We'll hash it all out after that. Yes, that is likely true. S&P, the reason I brought up that Looney comp is just because Looney can't catch. I was just like, all right, if that seems pretty comparable to Andre Drummond. All right, let's look at Philly for a second. I don't want to go 24 to Paul Reed. I don't think that's as likely of a scenario. The problem lies in the fact that they have multiple options to go small. Like, there was a chunk of time at the end of the fourth quarter where Marcus Morris was the center, not Paul Reed, not Mo Bamba. I'm going 23 to Reed. I'm going to go 16 to Bamba. 18 to Bamba. I mean, he still got 25. We'll go 18 to Bamba, and then we'll get Marcus Morris in for the other 7. 38 to Maxey. Yes. 36 to Tobias Harris. Should that be 39-37? Yeah. I'm going 39-37 on Maxey and Harris. I have 29 in for Melton. That is not going to cut it. Yeah, I think we're going 32-32 here on Melton and Oubre. That feels about right. That'll then let me go to Marcus Morris. So Morris only played 11 minutes. I don't know why. He played 25 and 31 in the 2 previous games before that. Makes very little sense. Covington, in theory, should be playing here today. Yeah, Vooch can't play the 4. He can't play the 5. You're making it harder for him? No, he's more likely to never play. He cannot play the 4. He already can't play at the position he's supposed to play. That would be a death sentence. God, do I want to go to more minutes on Oubre or Melton? I really don't on Melton. Really don't on Oubre either. We'll see what that looks like in a second. I don't know. He played so much. I just don't trust it. I'll go 32 and 32. Now, are they just going to not play Robert Covington? It feels like that's what they're doing. We'll get Beverly out there for like his pretty standard 16. I guess we're going to give Marcus Morris like 14. Kevin, I don't know how true that is. Yeah, no. He cannot play the 4. That team is terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible. He couldn't get away with it. There's a reason that the Bulls are dog shit. They're dog shit with him at the 5 already. They'd be worse. That team would be worse. I legitimately think the biggest problem for Drummond is that he's just stuck on the Bulls behind a shittier center. Like, you could look through the list of teams pretty easily and just be like, okay, he would be fine there. Like, nothing would look any different if Andre Drummond was the starting center for Washington instead of Daniel Gafford. Like, it would just be the same. Who else is going to play for this stupid Philly team? They played a rotation of KJ Martin. They played a rotation of Daniel House. I just don't see where these minutes are going. Why isn't Robert Covington now a part of this? So I guess we need to get Daniel House some sort of rotation. I guess I'm willing to give KJ Martin a rotation, but they're not going to. Maybe they're going to go to 11, 4, 5. Now I feel like I got to go to a couple extra minutes here. So I'm going 33 to Melton, 33 to Oubre. That still leaves me 18. I'm just going to split that between Covington and KJ Martin. I don't think it really matters for today. The more interesting piece of all of this will be what these guys look like another day past Embiid, because I haven't looked at any salaries or anything yet. Orlando's on the back-to-back. They had multiple guys out yesterday. Q-Tag Harris, Q-Tag Ingles, Q-Tag John Isaac. So we got to put all of those dudes back in. So let's go ahead and do that. Yesterday we got 21 out of Wendell Carter Jr., 11 out of Goga, 15 out of Mo Wagner. So they continue to just do 48. So we can fix that. I could take Anthony Black back down to 21. Great game at Anthony. Actually, I could leave it at 22. Great game at Anthony Black. Suggs played 17 in the first half and 12 in the second half. Of course he did. Of course he did. Yeah, I didn't mean it in that, like, I would rather have Drummond or anything. Just that there are a lot, like, the 20th through 40th center in the league is probably a pretty blurry list that you can kind of just grab anybody from. I don't want to be advocating for him because that's not the stand that I take either. I just think that, like, after the top 15 or so, you can pretty much pick whoever you want and none of it really matters. All right, so I guess we got to get Isaac back in for 13. We get Ingles in for mostly no minutes. Not really making any changes here. I mean, all we did was change rotations for Orlando. If Gary Harris doesn't play, we can move some stuff around. I mean, Westbrook has been absolute dog shit for 5 years, but no one wanted to ever think that was true. Westbrook's been shit basically since the time I started doing content. That's not true. I'm selling him short there, but he's awful. No, Westbrook and Drummond are not fantastic comps. Drummond actually has a skill set. Maybe 4 years ago, Drummond and Westbrook would be fantastic comps. I think it's come full circle on Drummond. He got once he stopped being a 28-minute a game center, I think the universe sort of course corrected on him. I think the craziest part of Drummond is he just turned 30. He's not as old as it seems. Feels like he's been in the league for 8 million years. All right, for Philly, we are going quite heavily to Tyrese Maxey today. 8,800 on DK. I don't know how you get away from that. Somehow DraftKings didn't fix this price. Maybe they had to make this before we officially knew the Embiid news. But Tyrese Maxey is the dude for tonight. I think Toby looks fantastic. I think Kelly Oubre looks fantastic. I think DeAnthony Melton looks fantastic. Those 4 guys, Melton, Oubre, Harris, Maxey, love them. S&P, I think you're mostly right. I think you could hide Drummond more than you could hide Russ. This will be another bad example. But if you swapped out Andre Drummond for Clint Capella, I don't think you'd really notice what's going on the team. Whereas, I don't want to be you swap Russ for Trae Young, because that's obviously, we're talking about different things. But I think he could eat 20 to 22 minutes a game for most regular teams and be fine. If he were the starting center for Memphis, but then they closed with Jaren Jackson Jr., I think that would be totally fine. Love Maxey today. I assume Maxey will be the number 1 play on today's slate. Orlando, it's Franz and it's Paolo again. Basically the same as it looked like yesterday. I'm going to have to take a quick look at the rates for Orlando. I think I'm underrepresenting Paolo and Franz right now. So let's just say this year, games where Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero both started. All y'all killing me with this Maxey conversation. Guys, this is a 6-game slate, and he's 8,800. He was 9,600 with Joel Embiid 2 weeks ago. Don't overthink this, guys. Don't overthink this. AJ, Sabonis, by a mile. By a mile. I don't know why we're talking about Joval and Nurkic shooting threes. Nurkic shoots 2 threes a game. He's shooting 26% from 3. These guys don't shoot threes. That's not real volume. Nobody cares if Joval or Yusuf Nurkic shoot a 3. They'll let them take that 3 all day. They shouldn't be taking those threes. Yeah, it's Franz and it's Paolo. So on the year, 29 games together. Paolo, 28.5% usage rate. Is there something I'm missing? I don't think that there is. Like, I don't know where this usage just comes from. I guess I got to bump him up like 0.25%. That takes me up to 22.8. And then Franz is at 25.5. Whoop. Takes me up to 22.5. Yeah, I guess that's going to be fine. A little bit of a bumpski. Look, we like Paolo, we like Franz. Everybody else for Orlando feels random, but we are jamming Philadelphia. Jamming Philadelphia. Next one up is the Toronto Raptors. 6.5-point favorites in Washington, 238 total. Now, this should be very interesting for Toronto because they get a shitty Wizards team on a back-to-back. Everybody that's normally available for Toronto is available. So I think we're probably just keeping this rotation and calling it a day. I got 36 in for Barnes, 36 in for Siakam, 34 for OG, which honestly could probably be 35. I think I'm totally good with what I have in for Toronto right now. Very curious to see what this looks like. Now, for the Wizards, we get them on a back-to-back. Gallo generally doesn't play back-to-backs. So what I want to take a look at is, have we seen any... It's going to be a minimal amount of time, and maybe not even close to enough. But when Gafford starts and Gallo doesn't play, do we see any sort of different minutes for Gafford? 4 games like that. Gafford's played 92 minutes. So, no, it's even worse. So we'll leave him in for 26. Even though it should probably be 27. You aren't wrong, S&P. You aren't wrong. All right, so if we take Gallo out, in those 2 games, like they just, we give Muscala like a little bit more run. And then like Anthony Gill plays a little bit. The rest of this seems okay, though. 32 Kuzma, 28 Tyus Jones. DeLon Wright played 14 minutes. It's very hard to trust Tyus Jones's minutes now, or Koulibaly's minutes, or Kispert's minutes. This is a tough spot for Washington. So let's see what Toronto looks like, because this could be big. And it is. All right, so $8,700 Scotty Barnes. Point guard, small forward eligible. You also get 8K Siakam, power forward center. I like that Barnes, like Barnes and Maxey as a combo is fun. Anunoby looks solid. Pirtle looks solid. Schroeder looks solid. But the 2 main takeaways for Toronto, very clearly, are Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam. Barnes in particular being guard forward, that flexibility is going to be huge. So right out of the gate, 2 7 o'clock games, Philly and Toronto look fantastic. Washington, Kuzma and Gafford, probably the extent of what you're trying to get here. You're not going to feel great about anything else. Denny's still a good play on FanDuel. He's only 5,700 there. But we're paying close attention to Philly and Toronto. This one could be interesting too. Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Milwaukee 3.5-point favorites in Brooklyn, 240 total. Brooklyn on the back-to-back. Q-tag on Giannis. We're just going to leave this Milwaukee rotation alone. Probably need to take a little bit more playing time off of Malik Beasley. Middleton now up to 33 minutes in back-to-back games. $21 for Connaughton feels right. Payne, Andre Jackson. The rest of this feels about right. Portis minutes sneaking up very slightly. Get him to 25. But not a lot of changes for Milwaukee. No changes whatsoever for Brooklyn. This is the same rotation we got yesterday. I don't really see a path to making that look any different. I don't love the minutes that I've got to Cam Thomas. I might take one away from him, give it to DSJ. Most of this looks fine. I don't think we're going to look like much of Brooklyn, although the matchup is pretty good. There's not much to say for the Milwaukee side. Assuming we're using the exact same rotation as usual and Giannis is in, I like Giannis at 11K. This 8 and 9K range is going to just have too many dudes in it, I think. $6,400 shooting guard small forward Middleton looks pretty good. I know I'm going to end up with a bunch of him. I don't mind Brook Lopez at all. Lillard is fine. Portis is fine. I think the two key takeaways for Milwaukee are going to be Giannis and Middleton. Lopez to a degree, but we know the deal with centers at this point. For Brooklyn, $7,400 Bridges. I like that price tag. And then everybody for Brooklyn just looks the same. Dinwiddie, Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, Day'Ron Sharpe. Why is Cam Johnson playing so little? I have no idea. I hate this Brooklyn team. They are like the most vanilla ice cream team that exists. Just a bunch of like the fifth best dude on a basketball team, but they all play together. They need to do something. They're rudderless. Phoenix Suns, 2-point favorites in Houston. 225 total. No Bradley Beal. Probable tag on Nurk. Probable tag on Okogie. Available tag on Nas Little. Their opponents, the Houston Rockets, played yesterday, so we don't have any info there, which means that we'll basically just take the same rotation we had yesterday. Let's go ahead and get Nurk back after the 2 games that he has missed. Just going to gut that whole rotation just to make life a little bit easier. We'll get Nurk in for 30. We'll get KD in for 37. We'll get Devin Booker in for 38. We'll get Grayson Allen in for 34. We'll get Eric Gordon in for 31. And then the rest of this should be pretty easy. We'll get Drew Eubanks. He's the backup. And then we can get Jordan Goodwin in for relatively minimal minutes. Now, who's left? We're going to get Metu. We'll give Metu those 12. We'll give Josh Okogie 15. And then maybe like another 12 to Nas Little. Something like that. Although Little only played 3 minutes last time out. Probably not going to matter. Rates are the same for Booker and Durant, I believe. Let me just take a look at their player props quickly. Book's at 26.5 to the over. I'm way over that number. Durant, 28.5. All right, I feel a little bit better there. Houston side, we just keep. This is same rotation we got yesterday. I don't really know what else we could do here. Van Vliet obviously played his big minutes. Jabari Smith continues to play big minutes. Şengün played big minutes yesterday for the first time. Well, in back-to-back games for the first time in a while. Tari Eason got his 26. Jeff Green played a little bit less than you would expect. We'll do something like that. All right, Phoenix. I like Booker more than I like KD. Most of that is just could play an extra minute. They're basically the same per minute dudes. But you get the point guard, shooting guard MPE for Booker, and it's only power forward for Durant. There's just a little bit more flexibility in Booker, although guard looks a little bit better than forward today. I hate pretty much everything else from Phoenix. Feel free to use Nurk if you want. Tough matchup against Houston, too. Speaking of Houston, 8,400 for Şengün seems fine. 8,100 for Van Vliet seems fine. This is a bad matchup for Houston. Phoenix 24th in pace. Probably not going to get to a lot of the Rockets today unless they've got guys out on the back-to-back. 2 to go, folks. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet to the 140 people that are here. New York Knicks, 3-point dogs in OKC. 238 total. Was tied for the second biggest total. Knicks have everybody healthy that's normally healthy. Thunder are on a back-to-back, so there's no telling. We'll be leaving the Thunder rotation alone. I'll be leaving this Knicks rotation alone as well. We have, I feel pretty good here. Hart 27, yeah. Hartenstein 32, yeah. I feel good with New York. Let's go to OKC. Roll Tide. I mean, yeah, I think they would love to have Isaiah Stewart. I'm not sure what Detroit would be what you would want to give up for a guy that you only want to play as a 15-minute backup. Okay, yeah, I guess we're just going with the same rotation for OKC. Did they do anything weird yesterday? They didn't. Misic played over Ousmane Dieng, so let's just assume Dieng plays today and like Wiggins doesn't, and then Bertans does or something. They'll do dumb shit like that. We know that. Giddey, yeah, all of this is fine. No real changes that we can make. All these teams on a back-to-back, hard to talk about. For the Knicks, I like $5,700 Isaiah Hartenstein. That kind of scares me. Since last year, Isaiah Hartenstein has started 11 games. In those 11 games, he has averaged 26 minutes. His usage rate in those 11 games is 9%. I actually am going to bring Isaiah Hartenstein's usage rate down even further from the 12 that I gave him. We'll make it 11. I like $8,500 Julius Randle. He'll be in direct competition with Pascal Siakam. Barrett's fine. Brunson's fine. Hartenstein's fine. You're really just looking for the minutes here. Roll Tide. You want to trade a guy that doesn't play and a guy that doesn't play and a second-round pick for a guy that you think can now play for your team for 20 minutes. Think about what you're saying. Why in the world would the Detroit Pistons take that trade? You're trading two dudes that don't play. Two backups and a second-round pick. OKC. 10-5 Shea is interesting. What's really going to be interesting for Oklahoma City, like we had Jalen Williams questionable yesterday. If he's out, we are going to get to an aggressive amount of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Aggressive. Big time. Otherwise, a little bit of Chet, a little bit of Jalen Williams, a little bit of Giddey. Not the best spot. Knicks defense not nearly as good as they were without Mitchell Robinson, but pace is still gone. Final game. And now that we're working our way through it, Philly looks even better than I thought they would. We close it out with Cleveland. I have no idea who's available for these idiots. Garland out. LeVert questionable. Sam Merrill doubtful. Mitchell questionable. Mobley out. All right. Let's try to figure this one out. All right. So first up is going to be Jared Allen going 32 minutes. We'll go 15 to Tristan Thompson. We'll get Donovan Mitchell in for... I mean, he hasn't played in 3 games. We'll go 37. I guess we continue to go to Karis LeVert in that like 26-minute range. This team is driggity dreadful. We'll go 35 to Strus. I mean, I guess we're going to get like a bunch of Dean Wade. We do like 20, 22 to Wade, 24 to Wade. Probably won't matter. Niang seems pretty safe at like that 21 mark. Isaac Okoro is now stepped back into 30 minutes a night. I guess Craig Porter probably plays a little bit. And then I'm going to hide. That Sam Merrill tag was doubtful, right? Yeah. Good googly moogly. I think I'll hide. I mean, Wade could just play more. That's 9 dudes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, that's what they're going to do. They're not going to play anybody else. So 16 here. 26 to Wade makes sense. I will hide 2 on Amani Bates or something. Got to get Mitchell's rates in here, correct? If that exists. Mitchell projected for 31 real points. So do something like that. We go to the Dallas side on the opposite end. Who do we get for Dallas? Luka questionable. No Josh Green, no Kyrie Irving, no Maxey. I'm going to project this team from scratch. No idea what Luka's salary is going to be, so that should be fun. All right. We're going to go 39 to Luka. He's going to become a real problem on this slate. I can see it coming already. Derek Lively came back, played 31.5 minutes. Seems like 30 is the right number for Lively. And then we can get Grant Williams in for the, 28 minutes that he seems to play every night. We get Derek Jones Jr. in for the, 30 minutes he seems to play each night. We get Tim Hardaway Jr., who just seems to be playing like 33 minutes a night. Exum, he's going to be in for 32. It really starts to fill itself out in a little bit easier of a fashion. Who's left? Seth Curry, Dwight Powell. I hate the rotations this stupid Dallas team runs. It's brutal. Who else played center? I guess they can go small. Give some minutes to AJ Lawson. They're just like scattering minutes to people. It really doesn't. I mean, when Luka takes up that much of the offense, it really doesn't end up mattering. What is his points prop? 36.5. Insane. All right. So this matchup against Cleveland for the Cavs, they get a decent enough matchup. Donovan Mitchell, 9,900. Like, does he look good? Yeah. Does he look good enough to offset like Maxey playing without Embiid? No, not really. Not really. I do got to bump Donovan Mitchell's assist rate up, though, just a little bit. I think I'm underrepresenting him there. Let's get Mitchell up a little bit. So it's Mitchell for sure. Maybe $7,300 Jared Allen. After that, I don't really see an appeal for anything from Cleveland. For Dallas, I mean, Luka looks amazing. He's projected for 37 real points. His assist prop is 10.5 juice to the over, and his rebounding prop is 9.5 juice to the over. We're talking about a dude that's projected for a 37-point triple-double today. I don't know if we have enough value to get to him, but I think it matters. I think it really matters. But, oh boy. We got to get to Luka, man. He looks another level. Another level. I actually like $5,500 Derek Lively and $6K Dante Exum as well. I think Luka's going to make the optimal. I don't know where we're going to get the value from, but it's time to find out. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet, guys. It is time for crunches. Let's go. Let's figure out what we've got as an optimal here on DraftKings. I like this slate a lot. All right, there we go. Crunchers up. Projections have been projected. DraftKings optimal. Start the day. What do we like? $272.8. Optimal lineup by 0.8. We don't get to Luka. There's not enough value there. Melton, Malachi Flynn, Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris, Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Maxey, Chris Middleton, Derek Lively. That lineup's fantastic for today if you can just figure out a way to get off of Malachi Flynn. Like, even if you wanted to go to the second lineup, where it's the just onslaught of Philly, at least you're getting Bamba over Flynn, where you feel like you're going to have some sort of ceiling. I think the fourth one makes the most sense in terms of guys that have a real heartbeat. Maxey, Melton, Oubre, Harris, Pirtle, Middleton, Barrett, Lively. Like, that makes you feel a little bit better. What's the best Luka lineup? Best Luka lineup was 6th. Melton, Oubre, Middleton, Harris, Bamba, Doncic, Grant Williams, Derek Lively. Harris was in 49 of 50. Lively was in 96%. Oubre in 92%. I got to check Derek Lively's points prop. I'm a little nervous I have him wildly overprojected. And I actually don't think that he has one, which is really going to slow me down right now. Yeah, he doesn't. So it doesn't really matter what I was wanting to do. Let's throw some randomness on it and see what this looks like. Should be pretty flat. Just a lot of Sixers. Yeah. Okay, so Malachi Flynn is currently the problem because he's a backup that plays, 14 minutes a night. What did I give him? Yeah, I have him at 16. I probably need to take a minute away from him. Yeah, and I'm going to do that. I don't want Malachi Flynn to just be showing up as the key value piece for today. So I'm going to take 1 minute away from Malachi Flynn, hide it on Jaden McDaniels, and then I'm going to rerun this. But I think it's a testament to we don't have value today, as we usually don't. But the upper mid-tier looks awesome. So, I don't even feel too bad about that because of how this upper mid-tier looks. The Maxis and the Scotty Barneses of the world. All right, so if I take randomness back off, that should bring Malachi Flynn to, yeah, okay, so it moves that Flynn lineup down to third. That all looks a little bit better. He's still showing up, but not in the way that you would expect him to show up. So now if you add the randomness, this should be pretty representative for right now. Melton, Harris. All right, Oubre, Melton, Tobias Harris, all in the 30s. Lively, Maxey, Derek Jones Jr., Middleton, Exum, Siakam, Lopez, Bamba, Flynn. That's a good one, S&P. I like that a lot. This is exactly what I was expecting to see. Just a boatload of Philadelphia and then kind of rotate through your Raptors guys. Now, FanDuel will look very different, as it usually does. FanDuel is just a very, very different game than DraftKings. FanDuel Optimal. $308.15. It's the optimal by 0.52. Maxey, Schroeder, Melton, Oubre, Harris, Anunoby, Randall, Denny, Derek Lively. All that makes perfect sense to me. That Denny price is really good on FanDuel. We've got Maxey in all 50, Oubre in 49, Harris, Melton, Lively in 80%, Avdia, Schroeder in 60, Anunoby, Okoro in 50. And as we slap some randomness on, flatten out FanDuel a bit. Oubre 1, Maxey 2, then a pretty sizable fall off. Okoro, Harris, Schroeder, Melton, Anunoby, Trent, Avdia, and Cam Johnson. That'll do it, folks. Another process in the books. Make sure you are hitting that like button. And reminder, sign up at Stochastic. I don't have a promo code for you, but if you want to come in and get projections, ownership, boom, bust, Sims tool, lineup generator, we are going to have a package for you. Click the link in the description if you want to sign up. That's going to be it. Prize picks out in a bit. Contenders out in a bit. Strategy show with Adam. Deeper dive with Adam. It's your standard day. It's been good to see you guys. I will talk to you later. This was The Process.